We are seeking some help and advice with respect to the 190SL Club's Weber adapter plates. And Steve is going to explain what we're looking at here.
All right, on the Webers, you have your choke and your Venturis that go in, and they just slide in, and they have a little spring here, catch, which basically locates it and kind of holds it in, but doesn't really.
So the spring again, I didn't think I got on camera.
Okay, right here.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
This basically provides a degree of friction and provides the correct alignment for the atomizer. And then in stock configuration, the Weber uses the velocity stack, and the velocity stack actually goes in and holds that whole assembly together. And then you have the little tabs that go over the studs here and hold the velocity stack, and that holds this whole assembly in a degree of compression to keep it from moving. The issue that we're having is that the club plates are the diameter, the inside diameter of the throat is the same as the inside diameter of the Venturi retention groove. So when you put the plate on, there's nothing holding the Venturi in. And what's going to happen is that in service, this is just going to vibrate and rattle and hammer out the carburetor body and eventually fall, and with enough wear and enough mileage could end up inside the damn log.
And we have seen these beat up the inside of the body of the carburetor.
I've actually fixed a couple of cars where people put the aftermarket air filters on and left the Venturis out, and their car ran like crap, and I took the air filters off and found the Venturis laying in the air filters and had to put them back in.
In fact, let's show them this one right here.
Yeah,
this is what it should look like when
this is what it would look like using the original Weber stuff with the Weber air filters. Anyways, so when you don't use the velocity stacks, Weber will provide these fiber rings that fit in here so that a plate that is the 40 millimeter ID of the choke will actually hold this, and this will actually fit and keep the Venturi from coming out. But again, with these plates, since the diameter is the same, there's nothing holding the ring in. The ring just falls out, and then you're back to the same problem. And that's also compounded by the plate doesn't come with any gasket at all to seal it to the carburetor body. Weber provides a gasket with their carburetor, with their air filter kits, but again, it's designed to clear the Venturi. So if you happen to spend the money to buy a whole air filter kit, you can get the gasket, which will seal the plate, but you still end up with a problem of nothing holds the Venturi in. And then, of course, with the thickness of the gasket, you have even more space to make it. So what we need to do is figure out how to make this work. In an ideal world, the diameter of the throat here on the plate would be 40 millimeters, like the ID of the choke, so it actually came all the way to the edge, and we could use the equivalent of one of these fiber washers underneath the plate and have the plate hold it down, but we still end up needing a gasket and potentially a thicker fiber washer to make sure that it ends up under compression and holds the whole thing together. We also have a concern with the way the bowl vent is done. This slot, it's really neat and looks really cool, but it creates a port here that is the intake air is rushing into the carburetor, pulls, going by there, creates a negative pressure, and effectively pulls a vacuum on the float bowl. And the float bowl is supposed to be vented to atmosphere, and we're a little worried that with a negative pressure in the float bowl, it's going to affect the jetting and the way it all runs, because you're supposed to have atmospheric air just in the bowl to go through the idle jets and everything, and instead you're going to have, as air flows through here, it's going to create a negative pressure, and you're actually going to be sucking the intake idle air for the idle jets out of the float bowl into the venturi, which is going to potentially cause it to meter really goofy and make it very difficult to set the idle.
Because over here, as you can see on the with
As-
the air filters,
Well, yeah, as
Just-
Weber does it,
just
it's
a hole.
just a straight hole to ensure that you have plenty of airflow through to feed it at idle and through transition as it goes from the idle circuit and transitions into the going up. And if you look on the carburetor body, it's actually baffled so that you have no potential for that big hole to end up actually causing fuel to leak out. So, anyways,
those are our issues. We need some help. Anybody got any ideas? Thank you.